All right, let's talk about iOS 16. All right, so I know I'm late to the party, but I wanted to talk about iOS 16. I want to make a video. I know you guys already watched probably a considerable amount of videos about iOS 16. I know all the big tech YouTubers are obviously making some. The operating system's been out for almost a month now. Just thinking off the top of my head, I don't actually remember the date of release, but it's been out for a while. People are using it, and I wanted to make a quick video. Hopefully it's quick. I know a lot of my videos go sort of overboard and I ramble a lot, but I will try my best to keep this short. First thing I want to do was list features that are part of this update, main features, and then I want to go through some bugs I encountered, and then I want to display and talk about the lock screen. So obviously the main reason you're getting this update is for the lock screen. Besides that, there's not really many changes. Of course, lock screen, number one, notification style on lock screen. Then we have keyboard haptic feedback, which is a feature people have wanted for some time. Don't know why Apple included it now, but whatever. Now we got it, right? Battery percentage at the top, the top right, which is a useful feature. Personally, I don't use it because I'm gonna be very OCD about like, oh my god, it dropped to 1%. Like, is my battery finished? Do I need to get replaced? Like, I don't want to deal with that stress. And frankly, I don't use my phone enough for it to be dropping considerable every time. I can see visually like, okay, I have half battery, whatever. That's good enough for me. The Photos app has been updated. So I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, but you were able to, you currently are as well. You're able to identify text, or the Photos app is able to identify text, and then you can copy paste it to places. Now you can do that with the subjects of photos, which for me personally was only useful for making Discord stickers. But if there's any other uses that you would want that for, then you can use it. But it's a very advanced feature and it works very, very well. I was very surprised with how it cuts it out, how it's able to identify the edges very quickly, and it's definitely a cool feature. Definitely, like a great addition to have. Next, the home screen has a search bar, like where your pages indicator is. It's a search bar now. You can still swipe up like that to search, but you can also just tap the little search thing and it'll pop up. So that's just a minor change, nothing really crazy. There's a bunch of changes to focus. I personally don't use focus, but I know there's a lot of people that like it. It's a great feature if you know how to use it. If you're wanting to use it, there's a lot of things you can do with it. So some minor changes to that. Changes to iMessage, you can now delete and also or unsend/delete messages, as well as edit them. Now this only works if the other person is also on iOS 16, which is, you kind of have to bank that they're using that, but that's the only way this feature works. Next, you got minor changes to Safari and email, or mail, the mail app on iPhone. You also have changes to home, health, and then there's a new pre-installed fitness app, which I've used. I personally don't use any like of the health or fitness or home. I don't use any of those, but I did open the fitness app just to see how the step tracking works. It's pretty good if you're into that. I think it's a well-designed app. Also various, small updates and changes, and security updates as well. Now I wanted to talk about the bugs that I experienced. There is actually a new update that resolves it says bug fixes and security updates, so it might address these issues that I had in that update. I personally have not done that update yet, so I don't know, but I'm gonna talk about them anyways. So like I said, I got the update the day it released, and the only issues I've had were, this only happened twice, but when I would unlock the phone, the screen would be completely black, like it would look like it's off, which was a little scary at first, and then I'm like, what the heck? So then I locked it and unlocked it and it worked fine. That only happened twice. I've been using my phone every day, obviously, since updating, and it's only happened twice. Second thing, Siri is just horrible in this update. For me, I've had Siri just straight up not respond, or she decides to do things on her own, which, sometimes Siri will activate, but it's actually like calling people in the background without displaying the phone app, which is weird. And it doesn't actually go through the call, but it calls, notifies the person, and then hangs up, sort of. which happened once to me, but it's weird that it even happened at all. So it would basically call, it would say on it, and then I'm like, what? Look at my phone, it's not doing anything. And then the person calls me back and says, like, I got a missed call. It was my girlfriend. It only happened to my girlfriend. She called me and she's like, why'd you call? And I'm like, I didn't call you. So it's a little bit of a weird feature. Not a weird feature, but a weird bug to experience, you know? Like, you don't want to be calling people randomly. I also found that it just doesn't understand things, whereas previously in the previous updates, the previous iOS 15, it would easily understand things that I'm asking it. And in this one, it just decides to not really do anything at all, or it says I don't understand, or it says on it, and then it doesn't do the task. It also won't read text messages when I have AirPods in, which it's supposed to do. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Very unpredictable would be the easy, simple word of explaining it. Would be the Siri's unpredictable in this update. Besides that, like, the whole thing works fine. One more thing was that widgets didn't appear right away when I restarted the device, but I don't know, like, if that's just a widget thing and not an iOS 16 thing, but not an issue. None of these are really hard issues. The Siri thing is just more of an annoyance, and we can make a whole separate video on the problem with Siri and what we can do to improve Siri. And she just activated, right? I didn't say hey, right? I just said her name. I didn't say, but it activated. Like I said, we can make a separate video. Maybe I'll make a separate video, but it's not working well with iOS 16. All right, so now I wanted to take some time to just talk about the lock screen and what I did, and, you know, my thoughts on it. I was personally a really big fan of the lock screen update. I know some people were like, why are they adding this? You know, not many people. Most people were very happy with this. I like the ability to just change your lock screen on demand, you know, depending your mood, or like, one could be a weekend, one could be a work week lock screen. So I like the ability to do that. I kept it very simple. All of mine are structured the same way, with the date at the top. Of course, the time, you can't really remove that. And the battery widget, as well as the weather widget, the small circular ones. Because I know there's like the larger widgets you can add. I decided to keep the small circular ones to keep it as minimal and as clean as possible. Now, what I like is that there is a lot of stuff you can change, especially compared to what we could do beforehand, which was basically just the wallpaper, right? So personally, I think there aren't enough fonts. You know, to start off with, of course, there's bold options, there's more slimmer options, there's different style. Graphically, there's different styles of fonts you can choose, which is, you know, there's a good diversity. But I don't think that, like, I think in the future it's something they should expand on, is the fonts available, and maybe even being able to download fonts from like any font website, downloading a font file to your phone and adding it to like a directory of lock screen fonts. That would be really cool. I don't know how complicated it would be to do, but it's would definitely be cool. Now, I saw a lot of apps being updated to offer lock screen widgets. Now, I think the apps I'm using, at least, have done a really good job of being quick to update their apps to support this. So it's good that there's like some third-party availability in terms of your widget selection. That's great, and I'm not using any of them, but I just keep the stock sort of Apple ones, being the battery percentage ones and the weather ones. So I keep it. I'm a simple guy, so I'm keeping it minimal. Anyways, that's basically it. I just wanted to make a video about this. I know I'm a little late, like I said, but for those of you who are, you know, watching a bunch of iOS 16 videos, seeing how people set it up, talking about it, I think you might have enjoyed this. So if you did, like the video, of course, leave a comment if you have any questions, any comments on my lock screen, my wallpaper choice, I don't know, whatever. And subscribe if you want to see more videos, of course. So anyways, thanks for watching, and peace out.